I'm Dr. Mishra, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Government PG College, Berinath. So today I'm going to deliver my lecture on Francis Bacon. Francis Bacon. Francis Bacon actually is known to be the father of modern English prose. There are several things about the literary career of Francis Bacon, but the most important thing about this writer, this prose writer, I want to tell you. The first thing that he has defined essays in many ways. Means there are several definitions defined by the writer Francis Bacon. The first definition of essay, whatever he has defined, the writer has defined, that he has defined essays as dispersed meditations. Dispersed meditations. Dispersed meditation, what does it mean? That various thoughts should be there in essay, particularly. Essays should not be concentrated with one theme. That should be concentrated, that should be filled with variety of thoughts. Means only one thought should not be included in essay. This is the most important thing about Francis Bacon, which he has defined. And the other definition of Francis Bacon is that he has defined essays. He says that essays come homes to men's business and bosoms. This is also essays comes home. Essays come home to men's business and bosoms. What does it mean? That essays should be related to the activities of human beings. That should not be related to the other things, but that should be related to the activities of human beings, according to Francis Bacon. Means that should not be related to many boring things, you can say. That you feel suffocation while reading the essays of while reading the essays. That should be filled with the activities, that should be included with the activities of man's life, man's activities of human beings. This is about this is also the second definition of Francis Bacon. And the third is, he has also defined essays as grains of salt, which will give rather an appetite than offend with satiety. Grains of salt which will give rather an appetite than offend with satiety. What does it mean? That essays should be like grains of salt. Means grains of salt, what are the activities? What is the act of grains of salt? That is helpful in digestion. Therefore, here according to Francis Bacon says that essays should be digestive. Essays should not be boring, according to Francis Bacon. So these definitions are the most important definitions, and really Francis Bacon, particularly here, he played his very important role in the entire range of English literature, because he has defined essays in many ways. He has occupied a great place among prose writers. So essays come home to men's business and bosoms. And here, I have already told you about grains of salt, which will give rather an appetite than offend with satiety. What does it mean? That essays should be like grains of salt, that should be digestive. It doesn't mean essays. Don't mean that if you have started reading essays, so at that time you are feeling suffocation. That should not be there according to Francis Bacon. That should be full of delight. Means essay should be full of delight according to Francis Bacon. You will read the essay is prescribed for you of studies. In of studies, he has defined, he has explained, he has written that studies serve for delight, for ornament, and for ability. Here, this is really very worth imitating line, and you have to also imitate, you have to adopt this line in your life also, that studies serve for delight, for ornament. Teach you in the next lecture while teaching about of studies. The other important thing about the literary career of Francis Bacon is that his Bacon's prose style is very famous. Why is it famous? Because he adopted aphoristic style. Means what is the meaning of word aphoristic? Aphorism means short statement. Means aphoristic style means that if even one sentence of Francis Bacon can be explained into a paragraph. This is his famous style. Means suppose if you are reading one line of Francis Bacon and that line is very short, I will tell you detail while teaching of studies. That here studies serve for delight, for ornament, and for ability. If you want to explain, you can explain this line into a paragraph. This is his very important style which Francis Bacon has adopted. Aphoristic style of Francis Bacon. That is a very famous aphorism. Aphoristic aphoristic style. Aphorism. What is the meaning of the word aphorism? Aphorism means aphorism means short statement. Short statement. Aphorism. This is SL. So, if you want to explain one very short line of Francis Bacon, you can explain that line into a paragraph. This is his famous quality, and through this quality, he occupied a great place in the range of English literature. And the other thing is that epigrammatic. Epigram, he always used epigrams in his essays. In the next lecture, you will read that epigrammatic and aphoristic style. Suppose if you want to explain studies serve for delight, for ornament, and for ability, so you can explain this sentence. Study, that is the matter of joy, and that makes you that is helpful in eligibility also, that makes you able, that is the matter that creates your personality well. That is the means all these things. If you want to explain, you can explain this line into a paragraph. Many other things are there. He has told us that read not to contradict and confute, not to believe and take for granted, not to find talk and discourse, but to weigh and consider. Means many, you can say, worth imitating lines are there. You will find here while teaching, while reading the essays of Francis Bacon. Francis Bacon actually, he is very famous writer, and whenever we read Francis Bacon in our literature, in our syllabus, we really enjoy, we really find peace, and we really find the, you can say, eternal peace because of studies of great place, palace, of death, of truth. Many essays have been written by Francis Bacon, and in these essays he has always discussed about the activities, about the actions of human beings. Particularly, these are the fundamental things which we had to imitate. We had to, if you want to make your career well, if you want to proceed your life, if you want to get success in your life, so you will have to read the essays of Francis Bacon. And next, I will in the next lecture I will teach you more and more about this writer, this prose writer. That's all.